needed to start a business is very plentiful. But one aspect that is always overlooked or overlooked a lot is business insurance. How important is it to your business? We're going to talk about that today with Tony O'Brien, the Executive Vice President of True Shield Insurance, which is a division of Northbridge Financial. Tony has been in the industry for 36 years, and in 2004, he joined Northbridge. And in 2014, Tony led the launch of the Canadian Entrepreneurship Business Initiative at True Shield Insurance. Today, Tony is going to talk to us about it and give us a lot of information that we probably don't know about insurance. Tony, let's get started by you telling me why True Shield decided to go into business insurance.
Yeah, no, thank you, Wendy. So back in 2012, Northbridge actually went through a reorganization. And one of the things we discovered as we looked at the overall company was we weren't a real strong player in the small business segment. And so when we started to dig deeper, we found out that really the approach we were taking on small business wasn't working with today's entrepreneurs. And so it caused us to go through a somewhat of a strategic overview where we realized one thing that we felt would be really helpful would be creating a direct-to-customer play. Because right now in the Canadian marketplace, all small businesses, if they want to secure insurance, must go through a broker, so a third party. And True Shield is really the first organization to go direct to the customer, so take out that middleman. And through this strategic review, one of the things we found interesting was the small business customer is underserved, and there's a variety of reasons why that is. You have a lot of startups or first-time buyers who aren't real attractive for insurance companies, and hence brokers tend not to want to pursue that business. The other thing is the premium dollars are smaller, so the potential for revenue is greatly reduced. So those are really a couple of the key reasons why the whole underserved comment is made, and we viewed it as a real opportunity, particularly because entrepreneurship is growing and growing rapidly in Canada, and I've been fortunate over the past few years. Through different relationships we've established to find how flourishing entrepreneurship is in Canada. You go back to when I was coming out of school, and even not that long ago, students were looking for jobs in corporate Canada. Now so many students are coming out wanting to do their own thing, start their own businesses, and we want to be there to support them.
Good. Well, you have to remember, it's not only the young entrepreneurs now. We have a very fast-growing segment of older entrepreneurs which are starting a business. And, it's a whole different understanding of starting a business as well. So, they really need to know all about this insurance too. So, it's very interesting how the entrepreneurial landscape is changing, not only in Canada, but around the world.
Yeah. No, and Wendy, you raise a great point there. We're actually seeing a lot of, older entrepreneurs. It's the second career. It's those people who have, left their corporate jobs, but, want to continue working, have ideas, and want to, do their best to establish themselves in their own small businesses.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job. As all entrepreneurs are whenever, they're first starting out. They're all trying to do their best that they can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is the importance of having business insurance?
So it really, when you think about entrepreneurs, the time and the money that they put into launching and supporting their businesses is significant. Mm-hmm. And what a business insurance does is protect that investment. And what a lot of people don't realize is, they think of insurance as, something happens to my property, insurance company will pay. Somebody slips and falls, and hurts themselves because of something I did, insurance company will pay. And there's not always a valid claim, I'll call it, at the end of the day, but it doesn't prevent people from suing. So, you could open up your business and, you have a disgruntled customer, you've treated them perfectly fine, but they decide to sue you because they feel something has gone wrong based on the service or the product that you've provided to them. And even though there may not be what we call any indemnity paid at the end of the day, the cost to defend that can be significant. And, there's various statistics out there, but, a typical claim, can run you, in the $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 range just in legal costs, even though nothing may be paid to the claimant at the end of the day. So that's one key component. Another important factor of having business insurance is the comfort that it can give your customers. And let's say you're a homeowner looking to hire somebody to come in and do some electrical work on your home. Well, you have two individuals come in, they both seem qualified, they both have the same price, but one expresses how he is properly insured and the other one doesn't have insurance. I don't know about you, but I know which one I'm going with, because if something goes wrong, I want to know I have recourse against that individual. So giving that comfort to your customers is very, very important. So, that's, another reason why I feel business insurance can be very, very important to a small business owner.
So when a lot of people, when they're starting their businesses now, are working from home.
Yeah.
So, and I know that on your home policies, you can add business insurance. So is that the right way to do it? Or should you be having, an individual policy, the same as if you were working in an office building or a shared office or whatever?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and it's one of the most misunderstood areas. So, for example, our company, we actually do provide home and auto insurance, and you can, under your homeowner's policy, we call it homework. It's an extension to your policy. The challenge is most of the extensions under homeowner policies are very restrictive, and both restrictive from the amount that they will pay out as well as what they will cover. And so, anybody who is leaving their home office on a frequent basis and working with people outside of the home definitely should have a separate policy. Revenue is also something, if your company's getting a little bigger, you definitely want to make sure that, you've got proper business insurance. A lot of people think, oh, hey, I'm a small business, why should I buy it? I'm just working out of my home. A lot of people believe that, well, geez, if somebody decides to sue me, I'll just shut down my business and I'll be okay because it's based out of the home and they can't come after me. And those are real misconceptions that people have. So, there's no simple answer, but really, if you're leaving the premise to deal with customers, look at a lot of consultants, while they may be home-based, they're out talking with customers often. And it could be a simple thing where you're in a customer's office, spill your coffee on their computer, destroy some data, chances are that's not going to be covered under your homeowner's extension. The other area where the homeowners comes into play is with your vehicles. And a lot of time people will be using their personal automobile for business purposes. And it's not until they have a claim that they discover that, because they hadn't declared the coverage properly, that there is no coverage. So it really spans across a number of different issues. The whole issue of purchasing a separate business policy versus just getting an extension to your homeowners.
So how often do you see claims? Like, is it really big that, people that do have the insurance, even then, like, are we in, the situation where people, oh, well, I'm going to sue just because, maybe I can get some money out of this. Is this happening?
Unfortunately, it happens, quite frequently. I don't have specific numbers on percentage of our, policy holders that would make a claim in a year. But But what I can tell you, and this isn't just True Shield, this is Northbridge
Right. Yeah. Okay.
corporate, we pay out hundreds of millions of dollars a year in claims. Okay. And, a high percentage of that is legal costs that go into, supporting our customers. But there's, there is a significant amount that actually goes out in indemnity claims to policyholders. So, it's significant. It's not an insignificant number that gets paid out in claims. And, and there is a range of frequency claims versus what we would call severity claims. So those catastrophic events, where they're, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million claims. We have significant number of claims that are in the, $5,000, $10,000 range. And when you think of an entrepreneur, I haven't met many who have, $10, $20, $30,000 sitting in a bank account to support a claim that wouldn't be covered.
Exactly. So when should a business consider purchasing or not? Well, start talking about having business insurance? Should they have it right away?
Once again, there's no real simple answer there. And we see, a range of people and when they decide to purchase. For example, when we've analyzed our business over the past year, we've discovered a number of our new customers are what we call first-time buyers. That doesn't mean they're a startup. That means it's the first time they have purchased insurance on their business. And for those who have been in business for some time, it's been a change in the business that's required them to purchase business insurance. So they've gone from working out of the home office to now actually renting a premises, and it's required by the landlord. We recently had a situation where somebody was running their business. They had a new customer that they were going to be able to distribute their product to that said, the only way we will distribute your product is if you have evidence of insurance. So they came to us. Revenue isn't really an indicator of, once you get over a certain dollar amount, I should buy it. I recently had a discussion with somebody who bought a policy from us, whose revenue was actually $8,000, but he was an arborist and he just felt the risk as he was building his business was significant enough. He wanted insurance from day one. He wanted to give those customers the comfort that he was properly insured. So, so once again, you see that range. It's one of those things where also small business owners have different risk tolerance levels. Some are greater risk takers than others.
Right.
If depending on, let's look at in the retail environment, somebody who is selling, one product may not feel their risk is significant, where somebody else selling a different product could be more significant. You look at children's clothing, okay? It's something where there's a big risk exposure, whether it be, flammable issues or, buttons that can easily come off that could cause, a child to choke, versus, somebody who is selling books, so, it could be, the risk factors do vary by businesses.
Okay. Now, how does number of employees go in? Does that have any factoring in this on deciding?
It's actually not a significant factor, except where let's look at the professional services industry. So you decide to open up a management consulting business, and you've built a team. Well, how experienced is your team in what they're doing? It would be a factor into what the cost would be for your business insurance policy. The other thing to consider too is what you are doing. So one business may have a significant property exposure, whereas another business may have a significant professional liability exposure. And those two factors, can come into play determining when somebody may feel the need to purchase business insurance, and more specifically, what should they be buying? We we've had different people phone us saying, I've been told I need a business insurance policy, not recognizing that actually the most important thing they should be buying is professional liability, so errors and omissions coverage.
Okay. So a couple more questions here. First of all, and this is going to be, there's no, your answer isn't going to be good for everyone or the same for everyone, but the typical costs to have insurance.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, the range once again is significant. We have policies ranging from $500 to and think of it this in the small business realm to we have customers that are paying us $10,000. The key factor determining what your premium is going to be is revenue. As your revenue goes up, your premium will go up. It's not dollar for dollar. So it's not as though, hey, if you're $100,000 in revenue, your X premium, and if you're $200,000 in revenue, it's double. There are different factors that come into play, but revenue is the key factor as you look at that. So, but the range, is significant, and most of our customers, believe it or not, are paying under $1,000 for their property and general liability insurance. When you start to introduce professional liability, that will go up, but not significant unless there are, the revenue dollars there to warrant a higher premium.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you this and then go back and ask you something else. You've already talked about some of the things that could happen, the consequences of, legal costs and anything else. Are there any others that, can really drive this home that this could happen to you, don't think it could happen to you, that, really do need to look for business insurance?
The one thing that comes to mind is how have you structured your company? And, a lesson I learned through being part of a presentation by an accountant was it was an individual who actually had incorporated their company, but they were paying for business expenses on a personal credit card. And they actually ended up being sued both through the business and personally. And the fact that they had used their personal credit cards brought them personally into the issue. So those those are little things that I think people wouldn't think about. You can certainly understand an entrepreneur all of a sudden saying, "Oh, geez, I need to buy this," and pull out the card and away they go. The big things we do see are it's protecting the business. It's giving that comfort to your customers. That you are properly protected. If something does go wrong, they will have recourse against you. And I would say those are really the two big things that people need to consider. Okay.
So to find out more information on business insurance and even talk to someone at True Shield Insurance, you have a website.
Yes,
correct?
We do.
And there are agents available to speak to you at any time?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. We have a team of agents who are available to speak with people. You can go online. You can submit a request for somebody to contact you. Well, we also have online and it can take you less than 5 minutes, the ability to get a price indication on what your business, what it would cost to insure your business.
Okay.
And there's constantly new content being put on our website because although the insurance world can seem pretty boring at times, the big subject nowadays is cyber insurance, as an example. And so people understanding, what cyber risks they may have by having customer information, and what cyber insurance opportunities are out there for them to purchase to protect that exposure, which is really a new one that's evolved over the past few years.
Yeah, we're in a very changing world, aren't we, with everything that's going on? Yeah. At the end of the video, we will post a link to your website, okay, so that people will have the information or the place to go to find out more information. One final question. You are only working with Canadian entrepreneurs, but if someone watching this video is from outside of Canada, these answers that you've been giving me do apply to everyone, I'm assuming. And is your parent company associated with other organizations around the world?
So Northbridge Financial is owned 100% by Fairfax Financial, which does have operations around the world. I know a couple of our sister companies in the U.S. right now are looking at getting more involved in the small business space. So I would stay tuned on that.
Okay.
One thing I will mention, Wendy, is if you are a Canadian company that has sales into the U.S. or globally, as long as you are Canadian domiciled, we can still potentially insure you. One of the factors we do look at is what percentage of those sales are outside of Canada.
Okay, good to know, good to know. But that is only into the U.S. at this time?
No, if you have sales globally, and we could still consider you. Okay. If you have physical locations, that's something that we can't help with. But simply, and think of the online environment now from a retail perspective. If you're not thinking globally with what you're selling, you're missing the boat. So,
right, exactly.
So it's important that we have the capability to help our Canadian customers, with their international sales. Okay,
great. Thank you ever so much, Tony. I really appreciate you doing the video with me and educating some people on the importance of insurance. Is there anything else before we leave each other that you'd like to add?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and certainly would encourage people to reach out if they do have any additional questions, because the insurance space can be very confusing, even for us who've worked in the insurance world for a number of years. And so, the best thing to do is ask the questions. And one other thing maybe quickly just to mention is, I had a customer approach us, and they said, here's what we're looking to do. There was one segment of their business that we said we would not cover. And they said, well, we're really not generating any revenue from there, so we're happy with taking that out. So it's better to know up front if you can actually insure your business or all aspects of your business than launching and putting money into websites and promotion to find out, oh, geez, I can't even protect this. And so, I have wasted some time and effort.
Yeah. And I think another thing which I think that I really like about TruShield, and you mentioned this right at the very beginning, you don't have to go through a broker. You're going right to the company, because you can get so hung up in dealing with brokers, talking to so many different ones to find them. So I love this, that you can go direct.
Yeah. And when you go back to one of your first questions about, why did we get into the business? When we looked at how small business customers are currently being served, it's not uncommon for a small business to wait 7, 8, 10 days to hear back on getting a quote on their business. Yet through us, in many situations, you can have your quote and be signed up in less than 10 minutes. So we've really tried to simplify that process, recognizing time is so important to small business owners, and and time is important to us as well. So making it an efficient process was really a key factor for us as we built out the TruShield platform.
Great. Well, thank you once again for joining me. Greatly appreciated, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Okay. Wendy, you have a great day, and thanks for your time.
Okay. Thank you.